And off the bench got the nod yesterday. They're going up to New York for the Heisman presentation in a couple of weeks in New York. We're following our guy, Joe Burrow, as he'll be up there, one of the finalists. Has not been named yet, but all anticipation is that Burrow will be there and should be the winner. His father, Jimmy Burrow, longtime defensive mind in college football, finally took a year off from coaching to follow his son, and what a magical season it has been as Joe and the Tigers look to close out an undefeated regular season on Saturday night, senior night in Tiger Stadium. Joe was talking about how much it meant to him yesterday. Coach, how much does it mean to you guys to watch him play his final game in Tiger Stadium on Saturday night?
It's going to be emotional. I know he said he tried not to be, but you can't help it. It's just been such a big part of our life for the last 2 years, and its dreams do come true. But I'm not sure even you have dreams that include all the great things that have happened in the last 2 years, and so it's going to be a special night for us.
Coach, I just
you think you'll cry on the field?
Well, I don't know. It's going to be emotional, so there's probably going to be some tears shed. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm coaching my son's flag football team this year. He's 8, and getting caught up in just like watching him play and thinking how cool it is. And then I've thought about that during and watching him play on Thursday nights, like how cool it must be for you at that level to watch your son perform at this, because I guess it would be right to ask you if you envision this, if you saw it like this, but there's no way you could have seen it playing out as good as it has been here in his senior season, right?
No, I mean we always thought he could play football at the highest level and play like he has, but until it happened, once again, that's why he transferred to put himself in a position to prove that he could. But just all the great things that have happened. I mean, we would have been satisfied with just a great year and by Joe and a great season, and it's exceeded really all hopes and expectations. And really even last year, I mean, people talk about there's so much improvement here and there, and that's true, but people forget we won 10 games last year, won a New Year's Six bowl game, and really started the process that led to this season last year.
I go back to mid-October to the Georgia game last year when it seemed like he really became comfortable as LSU's starting quarterback, and from there on, he's been one of the best players in college football, especially last year, and this year he is the best. What do you remember last year of kind of the clicking point for him where you looked at him and you said, you know what, he's finally settled in down here. He looks like he's comfortable.
Well, as everybody knows, I mean, he really didn't have spring practice, didn't get there till the summer, and so that's a process. Even if you have quarterbacks and offensive people that work together all spring and all summer and fall, I mean, it's still it's not a well-oiled machine until the end of that, and then he had none of that. He was there in the summer, so just getting familiar with the players. That he walked into that locker room last summer, and the only 2 or 3 guys he knew were somebody like Foster Moreau and Garrett Bumfeld, who had come to his recruiting visit on that weekend. So it does take a while, and we always appreciate the fact that he was accepted by his teammates, and I think once he got the feel that they had his back and he had their back, then it all kind of came together, and they all raised their play and their level of play in big games, and that Georgia game and Auburn game, that's all part of really growing up as an offense.
Coach, and speaking of being accepted, I want to ask him that Joe was asked about yesterday, which was just kind of how, like, friends and family and people from Ohio have been treated when they've come down here this year. You've gotten a real firsthand look at it because I know you're always telling us about the tailgates you've gone to and everything. What's it been like to have friends and family travel across the country and then Just what's their experience been like when they've come down here to Baton Rouge?
I think maybe Joe has mentioned this, but it really has brought our family together. I mean, I was able to spend limited time with really my older boys and my sister, brother over the years, just because I always had a game on Saturday, and even whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, it was just limited time for me to hook up with everybody, and so it's been really special for our family to get together. My parents live in Mississippi. Being able to just go down there and stay with them a few days before Mississippi State, before Ole Miss. We're headed down there tomorrow to spend a day or so before we head to Baton Rouge. So it really, and that was kind of unforeseen. I mean, we knew it would. We had hoped it would be like that, but then the tailgates with all of our family and friends is again really way more than we ever expected.
So as we sit here, kind of on the edge of senior day, have you had is there a moment that stands out above all the others for this season?
Well, I think just the Texas game. People still questioned probably our football team and our offense and even Joe and maybe even the coaches, and that particular day I think will always stand out not only for Joe but for LSU football as just a special day and circumstances of playing a road game, national television, and at that time, Texas was a really good football team.
Yeah.
And had a lot of high expectations. And then, of course, the 3rd and 18 play that Joe scrambled a little. Guys picked up the blitz, gave him a little time, and, the rest is history. So that particular game, that particular moment was what we remember, at least up until this point.
What was your point of view of the Texas A&M game last year? Where were you?
Well, I was right in the end zone there. That was one of the 3 that I was able to go to, and so all 7 overtimes were coming right at me.
Wow!
And right at the LSU fans, as a matter of fact. But you felt for their players. I mean, you really even felt for the other players on A&M, because it was getting to the point where almost every play somebody was having to be helped off. But the emotions of, together as a family again in the stands, and I think there were 2 different times we had big hugs and high fives, and we thought we'd won the game, and then the lows of realizing that we were going to go another overtime.
Wow.
And again, one of the most enjoyable games I've ever seen, but one of the most frustrating and disappointing games that I've ever seen, too, that either myself or Joe was a part of.
Jimmy Burrow joining us here every Tuesday morning, just like he does, 8 a.m. on Off the Bench. You can feel the attention that this game has got from the program. From a football coaching standpoint, do you see the attention that LSU's putting towards Saturday night against Texas A&M?
Yeah, I'm sure they've been looking forward to this game. Anytime you lose a big game as a player or a coach, and you have an opportunity the next year, you're always kind of circling that particular game as one that's going to mean possibly a little more than the other ones. I know LSU's done a great job this year, and Coach O of making sure everybody was focused game by game, but I'm sure in the back of their minds, this game has creeped into their minds at some point during the course of the off season for sure, and probably really even in the last couple of weeks.
So, Coach, as we sit here, like you said, into the season, man, senior day coming up. You're going to be out there on that field in front of that home crowd. As we have you on this morning, is there anything that you want to say to Tiger Nation?
Well, you got another half hour or so. But, we just we'll always love LSU. The fans have been just unbelievable to Joe and to my family. Didn't really know what to expect when Joe chose LSU, but special place in the heart of mine for the rest of my life. And my wife and Joe's mom, Robin, and Joe, and Jamie and Dan, and just really everybody in our family will always really appreciate how we've been treated. I mean, when you walk from our tailgate to the Tiger Walk right now, I mean, it's unbelievable. And to tell you the truth, we're going to miss it, and it's going to be emotional, but the memories will always be there for us.
Coach Jimmy Burrow, every Tuesday morning. This is always great, Coach. We look forward to Saturday night to watching your boy close out the regular season in Tiger Stadium.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.